Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Design Technology Management Conference Looking Forward. I'm Rich Uppus, your host for today's program. We're glad that you were able to join us to discuss and to share about what we believe to be the world's largest gathering of design technology managers. Many of you who have attended last year's first DTMC have asked, and we've heard many different questions coming in from a lot of different folks, are we going to do it again? Well, the answer is yes. In fact, it is scheduled for November 27th and 28th at the Venetian in Las Vegas. Now, this is just before Autodesk University starts, so you'll have no conflicts, and you can even go to both events. The November 27th and 28th is the Sunday and Monday right before the start of Autodesk University. So last year, a collaborative sharing approach was used throughout the conference to facilitate all of the learning. And with last year's successes, we're going to try this philosophy again. And we'll tell you more about that in a few minutes from our different presenters. Today we want to give you an overview of this year's program and answer some of your questions as we move forward here. So we also want to hear from you. And we'd like you to give us your input. And in fact, we'll be asking you to complete a survey of questions that we'll be sending out to you following this program. But we'll have a strong Q&A session, we hope, here today. We hope that everybody who is in attendance is interested in giving some feedback, and we hope that we can do this together. The point of the DTMC we have found to be one that works when we are all sharing and working together. And so this truly becomes a manager's program created by managers. So all that being said, we're glad that you're here today. And now let me take a moment here and click the wrong button. And so we will introduce our friends that have joined us. We have some guests that are with us, and our first guest that I'd like to introduce is Robert Greene. Robert was the co-host last year and instructor of the DTMC, and had a lot of input into the way last year's program was created. We're glad to have you with us, Robert.
Glad to be here.
And I'd like to introduce Joseph. Joseph was an instructor at last year's program and was an attendee. Joseph is a manager in his own right, and attended last year's conference at both levels. So we're glad that you're with us here as well.
Thank you very much, Rich. Glad to be here.
And Joseph Wercher, which many people have met in the past who have been presenters at AU. But for those who have not been presenters, Joseph is the program manager for Autodesk University across the whole program, is also the one that leads the strategy and the program management for AU Virtual. So we're glad to have you with us also, Joe.
Thanks, Richard.
And so now just a quick logistical point before we get into the presentation. I have kind of highlighted this whole idea of us having questions and participation from the audience, and we definitely want to have that. But I'd ask that you hold on to your questions until we get to the Q&A segment that will follow at the end of the program. We'll have plenty of time for all of your questions to be answered, and we'll have a couple different ways that you can do it. You'll be able to ask your question personally if you like, or you can submit your question through the Q&A interface at the top of the screen. So with that happening and behind us, let's now get started with our presentation. Joe, you and Robert and many others looked at this whole idea of a program for managers. I wonder if you could share with the folks here in the audience what motivated this development to do the first DTMC and even looking to move forward.
Absolutely. So I have been involved with AU and all the AU programs over the last 10, 11 years or so. Trend I have seen over the last 2 or 3 years is that we do have more CAD managers, BIM managers, construction managers coming to AU and trying to learn and network at AU. Now, at the time, we had a CAD manager track, but nothing specifically focused on, the needs of CAD managers. So with this discovery, we decided to, we had focus groups over the last 2 years as well. So we actually started talking to CAD managers. What are they looking for? Why are they coming to AU? We knew it's not just product training. So with that information from, the trends, what managers coming to AU, and then with the input from the focus groups, we decided, we knew that there's some special, a unique program that we need to create, the DTMC, and that's what we're trying to have here, the learning experience, unique learning experience, just for CAD managers, that focuses on peer-to-peer learning as much as learning from the industry experts. And we hope with this year's program we can make it happen.
All right. Let's go to the next question. Robert, this one's for you to start us off. Let's take a look back at last year. I wonder if you could give us some feedback that you heard from some of the attendees that participated and some of the things that you saw that were maybe some highlights. Could you give us just a kind of brief response on last year?
Yeah, I think what we got was quite a bit of good feedback from people saying that essentially there's no way that they can interact with their peer group at their company. There's only maybe one of them or maybe a CAD manager plus an IT manager. There's really no way that somebody in this particular job functionality can get around even 5 other people who do what they do, much less get into a big room or some breakout sessions with 20 or 30 or 100 people who do what they do. So the main feedback that we got is what a tremendous opportunity to get in a room with other people who have your same problems. And what we saw that kind of surprised us, at least when I talked to you and Pete Kelsey after last year's event, is that it really didn't seem to matter what industry field they were in. We saw basically everybody struggling with the same problems, and they were more than willing to collaborate, even though they might even be competitors. Out there in industry, there was this real willingness to kind of leave all the competitive stuff at the door and work together collaboratively to try and get some solutions that made sense for everybody. So a real sense of camaraderie is what I took away from it, and what I really learned was that everybody really does have these problems. There's no magic solution out there. Everybody's struggling with the same types of issues. So what I'm really excited about is that we can repeat that experience again this year and really put some course selections in front of people that are going to allow them to branch out and explore even more than we had last year.
All right. Excellent. Now, Joseph, I'd like to ask a question of you. In the same vein, but you wearing the hat of an attendee, I wonder if you could give us some perspective of what really worked for you as an attendee and the value that maybe you received.
So, Rich, I have been attending Autodesk University since 1999 or 2000, and speaking since 2007. And to me, what really this event brought is the significant ability to connect with like-minded technology leaders in the industry. So speaking as an attendee, it was really a huge opportunity for me to be able to encounter my counterparts that work for competition and for others that we work in joint ventures, and was extremely pleased with how all these technology leaders, BIM and CAD executives and directors and technical managers were there extremely eager to share their knowledge and their processes and procedures and kind of feel each other out on where they are with their implementations and what are the business challenges that they are facing. What really also worked for me is the opportunity to have potential R&D type ventures with other technology managers. I know that there are people here in attendance that I see their name on the list that have reached out to me for multiple ventures and those that I have learned from. So truly an outstanding event. Us CAD managers have always wanted something that would allow us to get together in one room, like Robert said, and be able to connect. So really priceless type opportunity.
All right, Joseph, back to you. I got a question about moving forward. We had a lot of learning from last year's event. What sort of big improvements do you see in the future here as we look at next year's DTMC?
Sure. So last year's DTMC, it was a pilot project. So it was something we started planning in December, and some of the things didn't quite turn out the way we wanted, but we do have, 3 things that we will be focusing on for this year to make it better, and I believe a much more valuable program. 3 things we want to focus on is we are expanding the program. We want to make sure that we give folks enough time for the entire day. So we're starting the program Sunday nights. It's going to be a network reception. It's really to break the ice for folks to get to know each other, and then it gives us time all day Monday to deliver a full program. We are also changing the registration process this year. So last year it was a pretty open registration process. People could sign up. They didn't show up or didn't, well, we had 600 people that registered for the event, and but they came and go throughout the day. So at the maximum we had 300 people at the event. So this year it's going to be a specific registration process to ensure that folks that are interested in that they have space and they can be participating in the program for the entire day. And then the third change, it's not so much a change, it's going to be a bit of a fine-tuning. We want to make sure that the topics that are presented are not too industry-specific. We want to focus on topics that are relevant to most technology managers, so that those conversations, it's important to have conversations. So we just want to make sure that everybody that participates can contribute, can learn, can benefit from joining us. And then one other aspect that we are changing this year is we did unconferences last year. We had, I believe, 2 or 3 happening at any given time. This year we are expanding the number of unconferences we'll be offering during the program. It's one of the key takeaways from us. Design technology managers and also AU veterans in general, they appreciate the interactive learning experience the most. It's really learning from peers, and we will really take this to the next level at the DTMC. So great stuff that we have planned to improve the program this year.
All right, I got another question for you. Well, I'm going to put you back on the spot. We know that this program is for managers, but is there a particular consideration you have about who is the ideal, or who should really be considering this to attend the DTMC?
Absolutely. So this program we had it set up last year the same way, but this program does not focus on product. So this is not going to be a program to help you on how to become a better CAD manager. That's not what we're trying to do. So the program will focus on CAD managers in larger organizations, folks that are dealing with more complex issues. It's going to be a CAD manager that doesn't really have billable hours per se. It's a person that's really, their focus is on managing business processes. It's managing people. It's and that type of thing. So that's the person we would like to have at AU. Now, on a broader level, the ideal person attending is also somebody that is very interested in industry trends, somebody that is out there looking for what's happening on the horizon, who is really interested in to find out what do other folks in similar situations do. Similar to what Robert says, the benefit of the conference, people talking to people. So it's really somebody that's very interested in that. And it also should be an individual that's, willing to share. So it's really, with all the content we will be putting together, we are creating, in a sense, an environment, an atmosphere for conversations to happen. So it really, what we want to do is, the individual that's coming to this event is somebody that really wants to take advantage of this environment, the experience that we're setting up, and really is there wanting to learn from peers and from industry experts, and really wants to, getting it with those folks. Now, Joseph, one of the other conversations we had, you had some other suggestion around this on the ideal manager. Do you mind sharing some of that?
I'm sorry, Joseph, my phone cut off. Would you repeat that last part, please?
Sure. In the pre-call, you mentioned something else, the ideal audiences. Perhaps you can add a little bit to what I just said on who
Sure,
should.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So to build up on what you were saying, absolutely, it is CAD managers, it is BIM managers, it is technology leaders that are in perhaps mid to large size organizations, and really to stress that this is not about one specific industry. As a matter of fact, it will be a combination of many industries, and those are individuals that are in the midst of technology implementations, standard deployments, and individuals that have decision-making process or growing to be on that path to actually leverage the synergies that are created inside of the DTMC and all those that are around them to be able to take that back to their own operations and be able to leverage that as a resource and continue to be successful in their own business as a CAD or BIM or technology leader.
Thank you.
So the conversation is something that's going to be focused upon, and you got to be willing to come and share it. And so I want to emphasize that to everybody. You can't just be somebody sitting there and absorbing. You got to come and participate. Robert, I'm going to throw the ball to you, and I'm going to ask that you share a little bit about the classes. We've heard about the conversation. We've heard about the kind of the level of the discussion, but give us a sense of what the classes are going to be like. I know you don't have all the specifics about each class name and its description, but give us a sense of just a little bit about what the classes will be like.
Happy to, but based on what I saw last year, I think to me what was really more interesting than the topic, whether you're talking about how to best implement new software, how to best implement training processes, whatever, was really more the tone and level of the conversation. Do expect to be surrounded by people who are in different industries than you, but who are exceedingly sharp and have navigated through a lot of the same problems that you've had. We almost have this platitude of, it's collaborative, but there's this old saying that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you can listen more than you speak. I really found that to be true last year in the sessions that I led. There were tremendous nuggets of information that were flowing out, either being asked as questions to the instructor or being bandied about as conversation topics in the unconferences. Be prepared to kind of throw out your cool tips, tricks, strategies, solutions that might be very useful for somebody else who hasn't quite thought of it. But definitely be prepared to sit back and listen for those to come at you. There's another saying that a friend of mine uses all the time is that you don't know what you don't know. And that's so true here. So do expect in these classes to just almost get bombarded, with little nuggets and pieces of things that you might not expect. I learned a tremendous amount moderating unconferences last year, just little things, that I never would have thought of. So keep your ears open, jot things down. We had a very active social media thing that was going on last year in terms of people tweeting really cool tips and tricks that they found useful and aggregating all of that into some information after the fact. So I would expect we'll do things similar to that this year. It's just a really, really cool, interactive, Q&A intensive environment, very different than a standard, straightforward lecture type of environment. Even if it is a lecture-based class, you're still going to see a lot more questions and a lot more participatory activity in the sessions. Very different I think, than the general tone of the AU classes that I've been exposed to, and as an instructor, very challenging. So if you're out there thinking about submitting things, for instruction, be aware, that this audience will keep you on your toes. Very challenging and aggressive class environment to teach in and attend.
All right, excellent. Now, Joseph, I want to give you a chance to share some of your perspective and give some advice to a fellow manager, somebody that you maybe just met, and you guys are both sharing a common field that you're professionals in. Give that manager a sense of some advice. You attended, they hadn't. Tell them why they should, and what to expect from what type of value they're going to receive from attending.
Sure, you bet. So look, guys, being a CAD manager or BIM manager is a very, very, very difficult job to do, especially in times when economy is struggling. And I'm going to say this in layman terms. This is your opportunity to look at yourself in the mirror, but your reflection is pretty much those that are extremely intelligent as much as you and have gone through exactly the same growing pains and career paths that we've all gone through and have exactly the same people, financial, and technology implementation and daily workflow challenges. So for me as an attendee, I really check out my principal at the door from a pride or a professional processes perspective, and I try myself to be a piece of clay going into these sessions and being able to socialize with others. Don't be shy. We're all real people. I've said this openly before, and I repeat it again. About 7 years ago, I went up to Robert and I asked him for career advice, and he was there and gave it to me. So if you guys see Robert down the hallway, or you see me or others, please reach out to us, ask questions, pick our brains. I assure you that we will learn from you maybe even more than what you guys would learn from us. I think everybody approaches the DTMC with a very humble approach in terms of being there to connect. Last year, I came back with a true almost half a Rolodex of business cards from CAD and BIM managers, not only from AEC firms, but across industries, as well as some of my own clients' representatives. So leverage those synergies to be able to create and build on these solutions. And last but not least, be open, like Robert said. If I can build up on that a little bit, be ready to both. It's a two-way relationship. Share your knowledge, as well as be ready to receive that knowledge. Take all that home with you and use that business card. Pick up the phone and call that individual and ask them a question to help you enhance an area that you may have not gone into to help with your research and development.
All right. Very good. And I think that was some good advice, and I know it paid off for some people that had followed that strategy last year at the event. I had some folks that followed up after the event and told me that they now have some good resources that are very valuable to them. To sum everything up, as I mentioned, there will be a survey that will be coming out to you shortly, and it will address what topics and trends you want us to talk about. And I have something fun to share that everyone who participates in that survey will be eligible to win a free pass to the DTMC. And so, this is a several $100 value if you were just wanting to come to the DTMC, but if you're looking to add this on to your AU experience, it's at least a $150 value. So three folks that will be submitting their surveys in will win one of these free passes. So we hope everyone will participate in the survey. It's an important part of this exercise because we very much value and need your input so that we can shape this the way that it needs to be shaped, not in a vacuum, not with us thinking about it and trying to put our best thoughts down, but doing it in a way that it's going to meet specifically needs that you all have. And so next steps, we will have a kickoff meeting coming up on July 19th. And in this meeting, we hope that you will attend this. This is, again, where we will be sharing specifics about the 2011 DTMC. We'll be looking at the classes, we'll be looking at the structures, we'll be able to look at the agenda and really give you a sense of what's going to be happening at this great event. And don't forget to mark on your calendar the November 27th and 28th date. We hope you'll save that date and plan to come to AU, you know, a day or so early and be with us for this great event. Now, with that, I want to thank my guests, Robert, Joseph, and Joe. We appreciate you participating today, delivering some insights, and you know, very much we need everybody's effort in pulling this together. So thanks again for being with us, and we want to thank all of you in the audience today for attending. You know, it will be your input that will make a difference here, and we appreciate your support as we move forward to try to make this thing a great event. So thanks so much again, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you again and having continuing this conversation on July 19th. And until then, thanks so much and have a great day.